Blazing Hit Radio.
Now with more us.
They're just really funny.
Better music,
Less commercials.
more Larry and Kathy.
All right, so earlier when we started the show, I said Happy Monday. Could you see? I was not certain of it. So I was all Happy Monday, and then I realized it's Thursday. Is it Thursday or Wednesday?
It's Thursday, and I didn't catch it either.
You know what? You know why I'm out of sorts completely, and I rarely know what day it is anyway. To be honest, Kathy should be here shortly. Here's the thing: I babysat the girls yesterday, Kathy's daughters, Avery and Gianna, and you know, hats off to parents because we purposely went and got them. We just wanted to spend the day with them. So Chris and I went and picked them up in the morning, and we kept them till about 4, and so that was the whole day. And so, you know, I had this whole plan, and we'll get into the details when Kathy gets here. But it wore me the F out. Like, and, you know, we did a ton of stuff. So I get it why it wore me out. But, like, I don't see how people do this all the time. That was like one day. And I was ready. I was just dying. Like, in fact, there was one point where I tried to sneak away and fall asleep. And it was just, I really thought I was like in a really good hiding place. It was hilarious. But... No. It just like wore me the hell out. So that's why I said it was Monday.
Yeah.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday.
I have no excuse. I didn't catch it.
Right. You should have said, you as producer Bolt, you should have said, yo, dude, it's Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. Chris and I, you know, we live in like a regular house, just like a lot of people. And apparently we're not the only ones with this problem, but there's like, and we've had this problem for a while, but it's pigeons come to our house, you know?
Yeah.
And there's the front of our garage where they set up shop, and then on the other side in the backyard there's another set. And you know, it's gotten to the point where, like, you know, after contending with it for a while, I'm just like, you know, I'm not going to be the guy that goes up and like takes some little birds out of their nest, you know what I mean, or break some eggs or whatever, because I just think they already had them. Let them just, maybe they'll learn to fly right away and they'll just be gone, or a hawk will see them and eat them. And so,
naturally,
right. So Chris is like jerry rigged this terrible, like he put some chicken wire up there, and what he ended up doing is really fortifying their crib. So like, in other words, now they're protected, and they have this little thing that they go behind. And it's so funny because Chris, like, as much as I want to resolve this issue and find, because I posted this on Facebook, but you know, I want to figure this out. And like, you know, I'm wondering if there's like a pigeon hitman you can hire or whatever. But the fake owl, we tried that doesn't work. I hear like you can put little mirrors up and they don't like to see the reflection, but knowing them, they'll be like, thanks, we look awesome.
It's just what we needed for our house.
Exactly. Do you have any of that doll furniture left? So it's like the best part is seeing Chris's reaction to them, because I'm kind of like, what can you do? You know what I mean? Like, I've kind of given up until we hire somebody or whatever. And Chris is like, goes out there every day, and he takes ice, you know, and throws them, get out of here, tries to scare him, you know. And first he used to throw rocks. I'm like, stop throwing rocks. You're going to clog up the drainage. And so he now throws ice cubes because those melt. But I mean, it's so sad because now when I leave the house, they think it's Chris. So you hear all this scraping and they're like freaking out that Chris is going to throw stuff at him. And it's just me. So I have to be like, yo, it's me.
We're chill.
Right, exactly. So I try to get in the car right away so they don't freak out, because I don't want to torment them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would like somebody to like tell us what we could do as far as like, do we take that all, you know, the crap we put up, and is there something professional? I know that there's like buildings where they put spikes, which is crazy because I guess we could do that, but then it's the first pigeon because they say they come back to where they were born.
Yeah.
So that pigeon is going to be like, my home by instinct. And then he's going to land there and spear himself on the spikes. Right. I'm dead. Right. And then so all of a sudden you got to leave him up there to show all the other pigeons, look what happens when you come to our house.
I've heard that you can use like chili powder or something that they don't like to smell.
Okay, yeah, for sure. You know, it's really funny and it's not funny. And I know she's going to be listening to this. So I'm on the record saying this is not funny. But my cousin Tina, she lives in Denver. And she has like a very specific kind of Toyota Jeep thing. And these squirrels were coming out of her trees and they were going under her hood and eating her wires. And it's a weird thing. And there's something about the wires or the coating on them that is they like the taste of. And, you know, first, when it was happening to her all the time, I was like, it happened to her a couple times in a row, and she was getting really pissed off because it was costing her like $500 to replace all those wires.
Yeah, it's like a brand new truck.
Right. So she was going in there and she was spraying pepper spray and stuff on them, and they would still find their way in there and munch on them.
Wow.
And she was getting so pissed. And so she has this indoor-outdoor cat, and his name's Butters. And Butters loves killing squirrels around there. So she was having this torment by these squirrels, but then every other day he was like killing a squirrel. He'd bring its like head around or whatever.
Yeah,
So I was
trophy.
like, right. I was like, you need to put those on your fence to show squirrels what's up.
Yeah.
And then she ended up having to pay a mechanic to build like a cage around those wires that they couldn't get to.
Okay.
So it cost her like in the end like more than $1,000. I think get him replaced a couple times to get the guy to put the thing in. It really sucked. So yeah, I'm not the only one being tormented by
Yeah.
creatures.
Pest control is a very good business to be in.
Well, we're going to go over some of the suggestions that people posted. Kathy should be here any second with our smoothies. Watch her be in the smoothie place, and she fainted.
Oh, no.
I hear her.
I hear her.
Hey, what up? All right, so Kathy's here. We'll be back, and we're going to, if you have any suggestions on pigeon issues, hit us up 303-728-3420.
Call now.
303-728-3420.
Blazing Hit Radio.
I'm sorry, I guess I dialed the wrong number.
Call or text now.
Hello? I know your secret.
How's your foot, faker?
Why do you say that? It still hurts.
I'm your big brother, and I'm supposed to say you're a faker.
It hurts, but I rub CBD oil on it
nice.
at night and stuff. And
So your foot's all high?
right. Hey, whatever keeps it
Her foot
happy
crawls off
through the day.
crawls off to the fridge for a snack.
Right.
Your
Where are you
toes.
going?
I guess I'll go with it.
Yeah, I guess so.
My
I mean,
foot.
it's going to have to go through me to get to my foot.
That's what I was wondering sometimes, that because they have that you can rub on too.
Yes.
Only on the stick. But I was like, if you get it in your hands like they tingle.
No, they
And
don't.
it feels like a stranger's touching you.
No, they don't.
it's not like that.
But they do smell a
Okay.
little,
Right.
So sorry I was late. Like I-25 came to a dead stop.
It's okay.
But you hate that. You're always like, what is it? It better be an accident. And then you get up and it is an accident and you're like, I hope nobody's hurt.
Yeah.
Hey, you brought smoothies. We're not mad at you. You know what I mean?
I didn't bring smoothies.
Oh.
Was I supposed Sorry.
No, it's all right. That was the whole thing. That I was like, it's okay. She's bringing smoothies.
Right, but then I was really late, so I couldn't. I'm
okay.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Why is somebody saying Tabasco in a squirt bottle? What were you just talking
For
about?
pigeons, the pigeon problem that we have at our house.
The pigeons. Well, you have generations of pigeons at your house.
I know. So people were basically, going to give me remedies for that because I wanted to, it's just too funny to watch Chris get so frustrated with them and they get mad at him. And so I almost like to leave it the way it is because it's like almost better than a show on Netflix. I was like, oh, there goes Chris. It looks like something like, get out of here, you pigeons.
It's like Mr. McGregor and Peter Rabbit.
Right, for
Get
sure.
out of my garden.
Right, for sure.
Get out of my house.
It's so entertaining. But yesterday, we were able to watch the girls, Chris and I.
And you had them all
day.
day. Like, I was definitely expecting they'd be home around 2 or 3. Because you took them around 9:30 in the morning.
I know, but like the thing is, they're gone to school for like a big chunk of the day.
Yeah.
So there was the incentive for us was just to spend time with them.
That's so
and then it was bonus that we could keep them a little longer to give you some nap time or whatever.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you.
Even though I was expecting to walk in and see you on the floor.
Right, like you did last time.
Right, exactly.
Right.
I was like, let's all walk in carefully now.
She's going to be on the floor.
Right.
Don't let the shield the girls.
Right. So we picked them up from your mom's house. And they were just super excited. And, it's like I have it envisioned in my head a certain way, like that it's all going to run smooth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
And-
absolutely.
Right. It's like,
high hopes.
We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And we did most of everything that I wanted to do, but it was like mayhem the whole time. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know.
I thought like, okay, I was like, we're going to get you guys Chick-fil-A. Because I was like, because that's what you eat. That's
Yes.
the only thing they eat. That they eat a whole thing of. And so,
True. They'll eat all those nuggets.
right. So then Avery goes, pizza. And I go, huh. And then Chris and I looked at each other and I was like, all right, we can go to the grocery store and I can get you pizza, but like, what are you going to eat? Are you going to eat that pizza or do you want Chick-fil-A? She's like, Chick-fil-A. So then we go we put him in the car.
Yeah.
Got to go to the bank. Takes a second. Get out of the bank. Chris is in the car with him. They're zonked out. I'm like, that's crazy. I was like, I wish I were them.
Right.
So then we drive to Chick-fil-A, get them food, and then they're zonked out until we get to the house.
Nice.
Kind of wake them up, and then we're like, okay, we're going inside. Put their food down. They don't need a bite. They're just like, And I was like,
Because what time is it? 11?
no, this was later.
Oh.
But it's probably because I gave them snacks the whole time when we
that
first
could-
got to the house.
Right, that could
Like
be.
we actually literally ate 2 bags of those like poofy chips, those like little
Oh, yeah, they
triangle
love
ones.
those things.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
so that's why.
And then we gave him little hamburgers, like the same people that
Well,
make the
Larry.
No, they're like they're chocolate. They look like hamburgers.
Oh, okay.
And so I gave him too many treats, but clearly gave Gia way too many things to drink because we first got there, wet diapers. So
Yeah.
I was like, Chris, you're up. So then all of a sudden he's like, okay. Like literally 30 minutes later, she's walking like a cowboy, like that just got off his horse.
Right.
And I was like, okay, something's
Side
up.
to
And
side.
Chris was like, I just changed it. I was like, something's up. So he's like, oh my God, she needed another one. So put it on, and then probably another maybe 40 minutes passes, and she's like, And then she's like pulling at it. And I go, what? And she's like, I was like, did you poop? And she's like, uh-huh. And I was like, hey, you're up. And he's like, why am I up?
To say
And I was like,
that's 3 in a row you've made Crispy up for.
I know, but I kind of lied, and I was like, I've watched them so many more times and changed so
That's
many
true.
diapers.
That's true.
I can't even count.
Okay.
So then I was like, you're up.
Right.
So then he goes to take the diaper, and there's no poop. There's nothing in it.
Yeah, she gets confused with poop and pee.
Right,
Yeah.
for sure. I was like, there's a difference between a fart and a turd.
right, right.
So then we put that back on, and then really not long after that, she completely wet it again. And then so that was like 3 diaper
You're
changes.
like, you're no more liquids.
No, for sure.
We're holding off on the drinks.
We did so much. We built forts. We played bar. We played airplane.
Wow.
We played hide and seek.
Wow.
We went to the park.
You must have been exhausted.
I am never having kids.
That's a
Ever.
lot.
And
That is a lot. And you watched a movie.
Oh yeah, and we watched a movie, and that's why I was hoping like we'd avoid the park because I was like, we started The Incredibles.
Yeah.
And they were really into it. And then
You're
Chris
like,
has,
this will lead right up until we have to put him in the car and go home.
yeah, but Chris has no maternal instinct
Okay.
like I do.
Oh,
So like I know when a baby is on the floor and kind of like frustrated and has his head in the couch, that baby wants to be held.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so,
Tired.
Tired.
You're right.
And so we didn't even check to see if they were supposed to get a nap. So we didn't even do that. So then I'm like, first of all, like Avery and me start the movie, and then they eat a little bit, and then we sit on the couch, and Avery comes and sits next to me, and then Gianna's still sitting at the table. So I was like, hey, I keep motioning to Chris,
pick her up.
hold
Right.
her.
Yeah.
And he's all, I don't know. So I don't know what to do. And I was like, ugh, whatever. So then I go do something, come back, and she's like all on the ground. And I was like, ugh. So then I pick her up and I hold her, and
For
she's
sure.
right away, that she's happier,
Yeah.
you know? And then so she's sitting there watching the movie, and then that's like every 5 seconds, Avery's like, you said we were going to the park. And I was like, and there was a time where you could run a fake on a kid.
Totally.
And you distract him
Right.
and be like,
Oh,
no,
no
but
more
this movie-"
time. Yeah.
Right. But she's like, my attorney has told me that a
Once you
verbal
make the
commitment,
statement.
right, is a verbal commitment in Colorado, the state of Colorado. So then we're like, okay, we got to go to the park. And when we were playing hide and seek, because we made these forts, I actually found, because Chris took a sheet and he put it over the couch and then over the coffee table.
Yeah,
And-
that's what you should do.
Right. And so when we were playing hide and seek, I went and laid on that couch, so you really couldn't see me because if you
The
looked
sheet
under,
was over you going over the
Exactly.
back of the couch. Okay.
So for about 10 minutes, they were looking for me. I kept hearing feet go back and forth, and Chris was like, and I was like, I really could take a nap.
Right,
I could
do
screw
it.
everybody over. But then I was like,
These kids are exhausting.
right. And I was all, oh, toodles. And then it took a while for them to find me, but they finally did. And then we played hide and seek again. And Chris went for it, tried to do the same thing. And I was all wrong.
He's here.
Right.
He's
Hey,
right here.
Diaper changer. Wake up.
He's right here.
Yeah, but and then right before we went to the park, I was like, "Are you sure, Avery? It looks pretty cold and windy." And she was like,
Yeah, you can't tell a
So
kid.
yeah, we went to the
You're
park.
going to the park, man. They love.
They loved it,
Yeah.
going up the swings and do the thing, and yeah. So, I hate to say this, but whenever you want us to watch them, I'll watch them because I just enjoyed it. It was
That's
really
so
fun,
sweet.
as exhausting as it
All
was.
right.
Yeah, it was awesome. I love spending time with them, and Gia's like just turning into this little person. Can you help me?
Yeah.
Can you help me?
It's cute.
It's like you're like, oh, Oh, say it again.
Yeah, I know.
Help me. That's why I tie her shoes like in super hard knots. She so it has a help me.
Help me.
I'm all right.
Right. She is cute.
So adorable. And then, what's really funny is, there's a little competitiveness, and Avery's like, because Avery will sit there and go, oh, I'm having fun. And then Gio comes right behind her. I'm having fun. And so every single thing Avery does, Gianna does.
Yeah.
And so Avery was like looking at me. She's like, kind of like, I'm over having a stalker.
Yeah.
And I was like, just look at it this way. She likes you so much, she wants to be just like you.
Right. That's what I try to tell her.
She likes you that much.
She loves you so much. Right.
And then so all of a sudden, we when we were doing the forts, I made it teams. I don't know why. So then Chris and Gianna were on a team, and me and Avery were on a team. And I was like, whoever wins, best fort wins, And so then Avery made it a point to be like, we won. And I was like, yeah, we did. And she was like,
she wants to gloat.
Right. So she goes to Gianna. She's like, we won and you lost. And so Gianna's like, so I had to save it. And I'm all, yeah, you and Uncle Chris, you came in second place. And we started clapping. I was like,
right.
Yeah, second place. But Avery was like,
here's your participation ribbon.
Right. But Avery was still, but they lost.
She needs to get over that. I hate it.
Hey, Kathy, what was the aftermath when you got the girls back? Were they all worn out? Like
I kind of sugared them up before I gave them back to you.
Yeah, they were wired when they got home, Bolty.
They wanted to tell you all about it, I'm sure.
Okay, here's why they were wired. Because when they got there, I just assumed, because there's those people that make the lemonades, the just simple whatever.
Yeah.
Poured a cup of each of them peach lemonade.
Okay. Tons of sugar.
Hated it. They hated it.
Okay.
Avery, Gianna didn't even taste it. Avery was like, oh. And then Gianna's like, oh, mine either.
Okay.
And then so
you have that for mixing drinks, don't you?
Right, or just whatever. I have different lemonades or whatever, but that would taste good with some rum in it. But they didn't like the taste of peach. Or Gianna, I told Avery, I go, if you don't like something, pull me aside.
Right,
I was like, what if Gianna actually likes it?
Yeah, exactly.
She does everything that you do. So I dump them out. I get them cherry Coke. So they like that.
So that's why.
And then
they
had these little pieces of mini hamburgers, which were like candy, and there's chocolate in between. Give them those. And then right before we left the house, because Avery was like, cupcakes. So I did buy cupcakes. So I gave them each a cupcake. Avery ate hers, and Gianna only ate all the frosting right before we brought them to your house.
Thank you.
But when we stopped at the bank, I had suckers in my pocket. I was like, but they're not getting these.
I'm glad you held back. Thank God. Jesus. So they were wired. And then
now Kathy's kids are diabetic.
Right. Went to bed around the normal time. But this is the funny part. So at 2:00 in the morning, Gianna wakes me up. I poop. I was like, of course. Okay. Because I knew it was coming. Larry said it hadn't happened all day.
Right.
So we go and it was painless. Thank God it wasn't a mess.
Right. It was like one of those good dog poos.
She goes right back to bed. And all of a sudden, an hour later, I poop again. I was like, okay.
Dang.
Yeah.
She's all, I really got
So all of your
full.
sugar constipated her for a couple hours.
Well,
and
she ate
I
like
got to enjoy it at 2 and 3.
3 bowls of chips, 4 nuggets, and
my God.
3 French fries.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll watch them anytime.
Can't wait. Thank you. Thank you again. They really did have a good time.
Love them.
Blazing Hit Radio.
Better music,
Less commercials.
more Larry and Kathy.
All right, a lot of people are calling in with suggestions and texting about how I can get rid of our pigeons.
Yes.
And apparently Kayla and Wiggins have the same issue, so they need help as well.
Okay.
And it is true that where they're born, they usually head back to.
Okay.
So a lot of people are saying that you have to try spikes. Some people says BB gun.
Oh.
Right. And then a lot of people said the mirrors. Like they don't like to see themselves.
Okay.
So now I have to find some little adorable mirrors that would go in there.
Now, do they go to just the one area,
No,
or do they?
there's
Is
two.
it where the solar pads are? 'Cause
No. We got those covered.
Yeah,
with
right.
wire.
We got ours covered too.
Yeah, just in that little cove above the garage.
Yep.
And then on the other side in the backyard, there's 2 that are on the other side of the little cove. So all you hear is.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah, unless you're Chris.
Totally.
Some people said BB gun. I don't think I could do that.
I don't think I could do that.
I don't think I could do that. However, I wouldn't mind hiring somebody who could.
No, you can't.
No?
Bolty, you have a BB gun, I'm sure. Colorado Springs boy.
Down in Colorado Springs, my dad has it. I can't bring it up here. I'll get you in trouble.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, Spolt's all, you can use my crossbow.
Yeah.
Somebody put it, when I posted this on Facebook, somebody put a GIF of a pelican eating a penguin
Oh my God,
in one bite.
He's eating a pigeon.
Live. Yeah, I mean a pigeon, not a
A
penguin.
live pigeon.
A pelican eating a penguin.
Oh my God.
I mean a pigeon.
A pelican eating a pigeon.
Yeah.
He puts that thing right in his mouth and it is gone.
And then he's just swallowing
You see
it.
that bird's fighting. Oh, that's horrible. I didn't know that pelicans.
Planet Earth.
Yeah, right? That's exactly. Watch it, Volty.
Well, and here's the thing. It's crazy because
That is crazy.
what happens to the pigeon now, it's like it probably goes in his in his down
Area.
in his stomach, and then he's just like, you figure like he could claw his way out with his talons
think.
and his beak, like I'm gonna claw my way out of here.
Right. I just don't, I don't get that. And I thought they only ate fish, hence the reason they have those big, mouths to swoop down in the water and get some
Scoop
fish.
up the fish.
Well, this guy's obviously
He
has a
didn't get the
craving.
memo.
Right.
On the text line, this one says, I hate to tell you this, Larry, but we had pigeons and tried everything too. Everything. They didn't go away. Whatever we put up there, they made it into a home. Wire, a board with nails. My husband covered the corner where they were, so where they would go with wood, and they got behind the wood.
Right.
We sprayed stuff like pepper spray, and still the birds were there. And then after 3 years of fighting them, they just never came back for some reason. Couldn't tell you what we did. Good luck.
Oh, that's crazy.
But yours is going on more like 5.
Oh yeah,
6
for sure.
years.
It's like 20 generations of
It really
family.
is.
And I don't know how what their mating cycle is, but it seems like they're always making a nest. And yeah, like I said, I don't think I could ever hurt them, but if you could call 303-728-3420, I'll look the other way. It's like, come on, Yoshi, we're going on a walk.
Right,
And then when we
exactly.
come back, the job is done.
The job is, did you do it?
Right.
Did you get rid of all the evidence? So we have some tech news this morning.
Right. Isn't one of them like about all the new emojis?
Yes. So a list of 157 new emojis for 2018 have been released, everybody. If you love your emojis,
Yeah, they're missing so many. Like,
Yes.
so many things you go to look at, and there's only just a handful.
these ones include redheads. I didn't know
Okay.
the gingers weren't represented. I
didn't know that either.
Superheroes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool.
Feet.
Okay.
So I could say, now I could do a break in my foot.
There is no foot.
No.
Right.
And toilet paper.
Oh, okay. That's good in case you need to be like, help. I need
Help
toilet
bring me
paper.
toilet paper.
Right.
So let's see, 6 new yellow faces, including a hot face, a cold face, and one that's partying.
Okay.
Men's and women's faces with red hair, brown curly hair, or white hair.
Okay.
Okay. And they have bald faces. No more having to use the moon emoji or the volleyball.
Wow. Cool.
Which I didn't know bald people suffered
Yeah,
like
me
that.
neither.
I didn't even know that. That they had to use a volleyball.
right.
How
Exactly.
insulting.
That's kind of Wilson.
Superheroes and supervillains with different skin tones and hairstyles will be there. Yay.
Okay. So like these villains and superheroes will probably not be named brand. Like it won't be
Yeah, like Captain America,
Right.
but I'm sure it'll want to look like Captain.
right. Okay.
With a shield.
I guess.
Let's see. Like I said, feet. In addition to the feet, you're going to get legs, a bone, and a tooth.
There's a bunch of people with foot fetishes who are like, hell yeah.
It's about
about time.
I could finally do my ad on Craigslist.
There are people that are into it.
Yeah,
and it's
I know.
Like, there's even like some like I find like regular people are like into it, and like I don't know. I could never be that person that was putting somebody's toes in my mouth. Sorry.
do you like feet?
No,
Volty?
no, that's the worst.
Could you put somebody's foot in your mouth?
No.
I could put a foot in my mouth, but I'm talking length, not an actual foot.
You're talking like a Subway sandwich.
$5 foot long.
February, Henny. I miss it.
Aren't they $5 again? I thought $5.
They are $5.
But not all of them, just the crappy ones that you
Right.
don't want.
And there's this new thing where they have to smash it so it reaches the foot if it's not.
a whole foot. Because that was the whole problem is they got,
Some of the bread would go in under.
yeah, and
Right.
they people were like, it's not a foot long.
They're starting to measure their
They
sandwich.
were measuring the sandwiches. How sad.
Speaking of sub sandwiches, because sometimes the other alternative is Jimmy John's.
Uh-huh.
And so somebody posted this thing on my wall, and it was like, don't support Jimmy John's, the owners of Hunter, and they showed him, and he's like standing in front of an elephant. He killed a rhinoceros.
Oh,
and all
I hate
this.
that.
But then he's on a boat, and he killed a dolphin.
Oh.
And he's laying on it naked. And I was like, that's enough for me to never
that
eat
right there,
at Jimmy John's.
That right there is why I
Gross.
won't eat at Jimmy John's.
Right, because not only are you killing it, now you're like humping it in a weird braggadocious way.
He was really naked on it?
Yeah, it's gross. It's just like, big game hunters, they're like that. They're like,
Yeah, but I've never seen anyone get naked next to the elephant.
On a dolphin, yeah,
or naked
no.
next to the tiger.
yeah, he must have, I don't know if he was taking advantage of the blowhole.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
He seemed lower than the blowhole was. I'll Google it.
That's more. No, I don't want to see it. I don't want to
Okay.
see the dead dolphin. Dolphins are aliens. You
No,
can't
that's-
kill them. They are higher beings.
No, they're all, everything. We underestimate the smartness of every animal, and,
Right.
and it's like it's really sad because some dogs are like, I can find a bomb or help officers contain a situation, or all these dogs are so brilliant.
Yeah.
And the one dog that's like, this way, firefighters, the fire's this way. That one dog that took the firefighters
Right.
on that lone road where the fire was.
Yeah.
So they're so brilliant, and here we are, oh, get your boy,
Yeah,
get your
yeah.
boy, and they're like, oh my god, kill me.
Right, exactly.
Right.
We dummy them down.
Right, exactly.
They're like, we are worth and can do so much more than you stupid humans allow us to do.
I felt that way when I put Yoshi's treats in one of those rubber things, and I know in his
The
mind
Kong.
he's like, "Thanks, ass."
Right.
He's like, now I have to go taste this gross rubber and break these up and have them fall out and then get carpet lint while I eat this. Like he's probably like, "Thanks."
Right, but he was entertained for.
Good boy.
He's a good boy.
Good boy.
You'll also see new emojis that are raccoons, hippos, kangaroos, swans, and peacocks. No word on the dolphin. I think they already have a dolphin.
Yeah, they do have a dolphin. Well, and then it's like some animals, like they have like kind of cartoony, and then some cats look actually real. Yeah.
You're also going to be able to get your pirate flag, all you pirates out there.
Oh, cool! Finally.
Yeah, teddy bear, skateboard, cupcake, softball.
It was funny. They had gay pride flag for a while now, but they didn't put it with the other flags. Gay pride flag was near balloon and gift, and now they threw.
Yeah, no, it should be with.
Yeah, they put it with the flags.
Okay, good.
They finally did.
All right, good. We also have a list of the top 10 things that people miss because they've all been replaced by technology.
And we'll do that next.
Okay.
Blazing Hit Radio.
Good morning, you guys.
Now with more us.
You rock.
Better music, less commercials, more Larry and
I
Kathy.
just love you both.
Apparently, we missed 10 things
Yes, there's 10 things that we're missing
because of technology.
because of technology.
Someday we'll be like, I miss pizza guys, because it'll be all drones.
Right, it'll be drones. You're right.
Right. It's like you can't be like, sup, drone, come in for a bong rip and a kiss.
Mixtapes. No one
Oh,
knows
yeah.
the joy of making a mixtape or receiving a mixtape anymore.
I remember early on, before I was in radio, going to Radio Shack and buying a little mini board
Yeah.
so my tapes would blend, the music would blend.
Yes, right.
Yes, that was my specialty to give tapes to friends. Like,
Some of my favorite mixtapes were the ones that you made for me
Yeah.
when I'd be driving all the way to college.
Then started burning discs for people, and that became a big thing. I'd buy like so many blank discs and colorful cases.
Yeah, no.
because I was known for it.
You kind of had the hookup going.
Right,
It was good.
Yeah. And in middle school, we called it Bolty's Bootlegs. I would sell the new albums. I would download them off of BearShare. And then
BearShare is a gay website for hairy
For middle
men.
schoolers?
Oh,
That's weird.
he was in high school when he was selling CDs.
He's in middle school.
middle school.
Kidding? He was in
Little
college.
hustler.
What did you like show up with a briefcase?
Yeah, I
and you'd
had
meet him
the
in
big,
the bathroom. And,
I already had them pre-made, and I had the big
He
case.
said, "What do you want? What do you want? What do you
what
want?"
do you want?
Yeah,
you
what
want
do
the
you
new
need?
M&M?
Yeah,
What do
that
you
new
want?
50. You want that new 50?
Jamiroquai. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Other things that we miss because they've been replaced by technology, actually going and putting photos into an album.
Yeah, but that was like that. I mean, that like when you go to somebody's house and they're like, "Look at our album," you're just like, "Kill me."
Yeah, no,
Like,
for
you're like,
sure.
"I'll just
Here's our
peruse
wedding
your-"
photos.
Right.
It's like, I don't care.
I'll just peruse your Instagram.
You're right.
That's
true.
way easier.
That is true. But it is, I mean,
Right.
I still have my
Right.
photo albums. that
Well,
I-
and then some people still like want physical pictures.
Yeah, right, totally. Recording TV shows onto your VCR.
Well, now with the DVR and all the
There's no
Hulu
need.
and all that, who cares?
Right, totally.
Don't miss it.
Printed photos around the house. I
Well,
have
yeah,
those. They're
you
in
have
frames.
to. Yeah, for
Right.
sure. You have
Yeah.
to have people's pictures. In fact, I love that picture that you just gave me of Avery at soccer.
You do?
Yeah, I love that picture.
Mike, it was like I was like, Larry, here's a little wallet size
Or the big one.
or we have this 8x10 still that nobody got.
We'll
He
take
took
the 8x10.
He took the 8x10. I was like, what are you doing?
We're only going to have kids once.
Yeah.
Right?
They're only going to be little
Right.
for a little while.
And she was only in soccer one season.
Right.
She hated it.
Right. She's
Really?
like, not a fan.
Right.
But hey, at least she tried it.
She did try. That's
Right.
all I say. That's what I tell the kids. You just got to
Right,
try
right,
it.
Right.
We also missed the excitement of seeing how the photos from a roll of film turned out.
Oh, like in other words, like you had to go to a place like the grocery store or something like that.
Walgreens.
To get your pictures. And they would just set out. So if you're a weirdo, you could just start going through people's pictures.
No, for sure.
And be like, ooh, Mrs. Flagagagan in her lingerie. Mr. Flagagagan in her lingerie.
A couple years ago, I was cleaning out stuff and I found tons of undeveloped rolls of film, right?
It's like a mystery. It's like, does
Yeah.
anybody even develop them still?
Yeah, Walgreens says.
Okay.
So I took them in, and some of them, they couldn't develop them because it'd been
Does it
too
take
long.
too long?
and
It like
got
expired.
ruined.
Right.
There was that, but then there was some that,
Like we're a mystery. You're like, I remember this.
yeah, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, no,
Some
no,
of them
I-
were with Mr. Big. I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about all this.
I took like 3 or 4 of those disposable cameras in, and I was like, oh, it's me partying with the twins and hanging out with my friends. I'm crazy. I'm all blonde highlights. Oh. Bum.
It's gonna be me. Yeah. Do you remember when you made me go to Walgreens and print that one roll of film that you
Because there was a
had?
hot guy
'cause
on
there
there.
was a naked dude on
Right,
it.
and I was like, I don't remember if it's on this one. I was like, but
Yeah.
you have to go pick him up.
It was. So I had to go and find a Walgreens employee that knew us. And I was like, dude,
I think
I need you to develop this film. And he was like, for real? And I was like, yes.
I know, but do they not do that? Like, in other words, do they not pass nudie pics?
I don't think, sometimes you'd have them. Obviously, everyone has a nudie pic somewhere in a drawer.
Well, and then I would imagine that like those guys are even to this day just throw the film in and then thing spits it out, throws it in an envelope. They don't have all day to sit there and watch every picture.
I think they're kind of bored and
Yeah.
they probably have some time.
Okay, the assessors they see Mrs. Flagagagan.
Because they don't develop them there at Walgreens anymore. They send them off somewhere.
Just some weird guy's basement.
Exactly.
Who's like, Miss Flagagagan.
Exactly. People also miss handwritten letters,
Oh my God, it's
like
so
love letters and
No.
thank you notes.
it's funny when you occasionally have to do that and you're like signing somebody's birthday card and you're like, I forgot how to write cursive.
Yes,
You're like,
totally.
does that even look right?
And then it's all like
Right.
all over the place. The letters aren't even.
right?
Yeah.
2 things are misspelled. You're like, well, what can you do? You only bought 1 card. Everybody already signed
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Can't start fresh.
People miss postcards.
Okay, those are kind of cool. I mean, I love when somebody's traveling and then you get one because you're like, I need to take a vacation too.
Right. I just found a postcard that your husband sent to me when you guys went to London,
I've never been to London.
France. Where did you guys go?
Oh, we went to Germany and France.
Okay.
And
it was
Holland.
something like that.
Right.
And he wrote in German or
Oh,
something.
okay.
Excuse you, sir. German is a crazy language. Even when
Yes,
they're saying
very much
something
so.
nice and loving,
Right.
it sounds like
It's
they're
rough.
They
yelling
wanna
at
kill you.
Right.
Yeah, I hear my neighbor all the time with his very sexy German accent. He walks around in his boots. Stomp, stomp, stomp. No, he doesn't.
Yes.
He's
Oh,
very
yes.
nice. I do like him so. He's very nice. I had him over for a beer.
Did you say you do like him?
I do like him. I said,
Okay.
oh, I do
was
like
gonna
him.
say, God, Larry.
No, I did not say that. Why would you even bring that up? The only time I bring up his accent is when Chris and I get home from the market and him and his wife look out the window and say, oh, more treats for the fat guys.
Of the things that the top 10 things that people miss because they've been replaced by technology, having a pen pal.
No?
I had one.
Did you?
Did you have
No.
one?
Okay, that's just like
In
Facebook
4th grade,
now.
they made us have pen pals. So
Just all, dear man in prison.
our teacher, oh, no.
Dear Terrell.
Our teacher had a sister who was a teacher in Flagstaff, Arizona. And so we all got paired up with a student
Oh,
in
okay,
that
in her
teacher's-
class.
And so we learned how to write letters. And I stayed in touch with Jamie like all the way through college.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Yeah, I got
now
my-
I don't know what happened to her. Like now it'd be easy to get a hold of her because of Facebook, but I have no idea.
Dear Jamie, I got my boobs today. Did you get yours yet?
Probably.
Right.
It's probably like that. And the last thing, the CD collection. If you haven't heard, Best Buy is now ending the CDs in their stores, and so is Target.
Yeah, and so what's crazy is Target was like saying that they wanted the record companies to, instead of them buying a bunch of their CDs, they were only going to give the record company money for every CD sold instead of buying them in bulk.
Okay.
So the artists were like, what? And so they're like, so if somebody only bought like 5 CDs from like somebody's new single, that's all the artists would get paid.
Wrong.
Right, I know. So, and it's funny that you bring that up because I just helped my sister-in-law move.
Okay.
And she, just like everybody else, has boxes and boxes of CDs.
Right.
And they weigh so much. And because they weigh so much, people don't want to throw them away. They're like, this is heavy.
Right.
Value.
That's kind of
worth something. Even though you'll never go down there and find them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's easier. And
a lot of cars don't even have a CD player in them anymore.
Exactly. And it's just going to get to the point where it's same with the DVDs. Because you're just going to go, say the name of the movie, and it'll pop up.
Yeah.
Instead of you going...
you have a whole room of DVDs.
And it's one flight upstairs, downstairs, and I'm still, no, look for The Incredibles. Oh, there it is. Don't have to go downstairs.
So you didn't go down and get it yesterday?
No, we actually had to use the
Okay.
DVD. And Chris was like completely thrown off by the previews that were going on before. I was like, you don't remember DVD previews? Especially on a Disney DVD.
Oh my God,
There's like
and you
10
can't fast
commercials.
forward, you can't skip
Right,
it.
exactly.
I hate it. Coming soon.
To a theater near you.
Ugh.
Do you guys remember Columbia House when you would order
Oh,
10
yeah.
CDs,
Yes.
get 2 free, and then they would send you a $30 CD every month?
Yes.
And if you didn't return it, you get charged for it automatically.
Totally. I got suckered into that.
Those
I
people,
think that was the first credit collector.
right. I was going to
Columbia
say,
House.
they've been ruining people's credit for years
Yeah.
along with gym memberships.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when you're like, I'm not going, screw it. And then they're like, you still owe us $1 billion.
Exactly.
You go, no! Click.
It doesn't matter. They still charge.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
sucks. So that's what we're missing with technology. And do you have a lot of CDs? Volpe?
Yeah, my mom won this CD case holder that I have in my room that basically displays all the covers.
Yeah, right.
And I've been trying to fill it, so I've kind of been freaking out in my head when you guys say they're not going to sell any more CDs. I'm like, my collection isn't finised.
Yes.
Hey, I have boxes in the
Right, I was gonna
basement.
say, what
Come
do you
have at
need?
it.
I got plenty.
I got some brownstone for you.
Yes. If you love me,
Say it.
if you want
Trust
me.
me. Do it if you want. Back in the Day Cafe.
Blazing Hit Radio.
I love that morning show.
Now with more us.
They wake me up.
Better music, less commercials, more Larry and Kathy.
In the morning, in the shower.
Or your long drive from New Mexico. Shout out to one of our texters who said they got a 9-hour drive ahead of them. And
Damn.
we've been really helping them make it through with the laughter. So
Oh,
we
cool.
appreciate you listening to us.
Roger.
Thank you. Thanks, Roger.
Thanks, Roger. Why are you driving all the way there?
Drive careful, Roger.
So yesterday I saw this footage of this like a high school player going to college.
Oh, yeah. Jacob Copeland.
Right. And so what I didn't understand is I thought the school picked you.
No.
Okay.
They go after the best players in the nation. He's number 5 out of all the rankings, the ESPN top 300. They rank the best high school players in the entire nation. So then those college coaches come over to your house and say, hey, we got the best program.
Yeah,
Right,
we got the best program.
Right,
we
got a
you
hat
like
for ya.
girls? We got hot
Yeah.
girls.
Right. And
right.
I've seen that before. They try to like, let us fly you here and show you the campus. And
Right,
this is
but
where
you-
you'll be staying.
But you can't promise them, a
Right.
new car for their mom or any of that.
Right.
You just have to try to sell them with your program.
Right, because people used to get in trouble for that
Yes,
all the
they
time.
did, yes.
Right, like, hey, we got you hookers and some coke. You want us to come here?
Come on over here.
So usually they always do this. So the top players, they have some sort of like big event, and then the 3 top schools that want that player, they put the hat in front of the player, and then the player chooses the hat, and that's his way of announcing what school he's going to.
It looks like he's playing a shell game.
It does.
There's a nut in one of those hats.
Right.
And then they're going to move him around. And then if you see him, Whoopi Goldberg is to his right. And then behind him is Kathy J dating his brother.
Waka Flocka.
Right.
I was gonna say Waka Flocka for sure. So
And her white brother next to him.
yeah, right.
Or
I
her?
brought her son.
Yeah, or
so,
something.
So it's like he had a choice between Alabama, Tennessee, or is it Texas?
No, Tennessee.
Tennessee and the Florida Gators.
Right. And then he chose Florida, which is not really where his mom was leaning.
Yeah, because his mom has on an Alabama sweatshirt and a Tennessee hat, and then it looks like her sister has on an Alabama sweatshirt. So they more or less. Oh, and look, the little sister behind has on an Alabama sweatshirt.
And he's wearing a red suit.
And he's wearing a red suit, right?
So it looked like that the whole family had decided that's what he was going to pick.
Right.
And then at the last moment, he went with something else, and then everybody, like, the mom gets pissed off and she takes off.
Okay, so hit play.
Right now, I'm taking my time for the next 3 to 4 years.
He grabbed the Florida hat, and the
his
mom
mom-
looked at her sister.
There goes Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg standing up. She got her purse.
She gave him a dirty look.
She totally gave him a dirty look. She is walking away from him.
My question, why doesn't she not want him to go there? Because it's too far?
You're going to Florida.
How sad.
Who just got up and left there and to your right? Who got up and left?
Oh, that was my
That's
mom.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Why did she walk out and
Looks
leave?
like that's his dad that stepped in to comfort him.
I don't know exactly why she walked out, but yeah, it is. I don't know.
Jacob, we saw her wearing the Alabama sweater there. What were those conversations like with her about where you were going to school?
We had a lot of conversations back and forth about where I should go to school at, but it was like God led me and my gut, and God led me in the direction that my heart desired. So
You know what?
I followed along with it.
Can you pause it?
Yeah.
Alabama has a really good English department. So she was like,
Is that what she
we're going
wanted
to
to
get
go?
you. You're going to be well-spoken. We're going to understand you.
You're going to be well-spoken.
You're not going to Florida.
I couldn't go with my mind. I wanted to go with my heart. So from there on out, God let me on. He told me to pick my decision that I wanted, and that's what I choose.
Oh, look at how sad he is.
You referenced on Twitter yesterday, I saw the post about how it would have been very emotional. You talked about how you had been crying the night before, agonizing about this decision. Can you just walk us through how you eventually got to
So
this
can
decision?
you
and
walk us through how you made your mother cry?
Yeah, right.
Right.
How you broke her heart.
Right.
what the process has been like for you?
This process, it been great coming along. We've been recruited for a long time, being a top recruit, top priority for a lot of schools. But knowing that I felt out of all schools, I felt more welcome at home and felt like I could make an impact at the University of Florida. So that's why I felt like that I fit in at. And
They're
feel
doing
like
subtitles, translation.
Okay, yeah. So you know, I mean,
Eventually she comes back.
yeah, she does. But some people like really take college football so seriously. They live, breathe, they eat it.
Is that
you
what the
know?
mom's deal was?
Yeah, I mean, like they are true to their college or to that team. And Bama, I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
she wanted to be part of Roll Tide. Like, you know,
And they're
it's
the powerhouse in
they are the
college.
powerhouse.
So she thought he'd have a better career if he went there.
Maybe getting into this.
Yeah, she'll
and
get
he,
a
and
car.
he thought, I got to get away from this controlling mother.
Right.
What
She
school
won't-
is the furthest?
She won't go down all the way
Right,
down
exactly.
into Florida.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I wonder if today, by now, like maybe they've even talked to her, the media, to find out. Or when she came back, was she nice?
She just said, "I love you."
Yeah.
Right.
Just hugged him because she saw how
then
bad
she-
it broke his heart when he saw mom walk away. He just started bawling.
Because this is like your proud moment. This
He's
is what all
17.
your work's been for. He's 17. You're fifth out of 300 players.
And she hugged him and she said, I'll kick your ass in the car.
Wait till we get out of here.
Right,
He's
exactly.
17?
Yeah.
Man, he looks like 25.
No, for real.
Right.
And he's a good looking dude, too.
Calm. Wait. Careful.
Careful.
Careful now.
Larry, do you know who one of the most famous Gators is?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Who?
The Chocodile.
And that's Larry Ulibarri
On
sports.
snacks.
I don't care what they say about me.
And now,
I go dumb, I go stupid, I get crazy.
come on and clap.
It's Kathy J's Stupid News.
Ugh, let's start with the gross, shall we? A lady gouges out her own eyes, leaving bystanders stunned and disturbed.
Yeah, that would disturb me.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd be like,
that's
what?
gonna-
Oh my!
No, she's
bleh.
not. Oh, she did it.
Right. So she's obviously on bath salts or mentally disturbed.
Yeah, and it was during church.
Man, so that's one of those people that's like, then the Lord told me to tear out my eye because I've been
wondered.
looking at naked men.
I wonder if that's what it is for
Right.
sure. So this happened in South Carolina. Elizabeth She could only call it terrible and said the 911 dispatcher didn't even believe what she was describing. The South Carolina woman rushed outside the church where she works and she heard somebody yelling, "Call 911." The cause for alarm was a 19-year-old lady kneeling at nearby train tracks, gouging out her eye with her hands.
Okay.
Bath salts, right? It's got to be, right?
Something, yeah, like yeah. Ugh.
It was across the street, said Elizabeth, and I could see blood and I could hear her screaming as she was ripping her eye out. I realized something was wrong. You think?
Right.
Witnesses said they attempted to stop her, but nobody could. So they called 911 and the dispatcher didn't believe her. That's how crazy it was. By the time deputies and emergency crews got there, she had gouged out the other eye and was holding her eyes in her hands, fighting anyone that came near her.
Right. She was looking out of him as she was holding him.
Oh,
So,
yes.
hey, get over it.
I
Get away
still
from it.
see you.
I can see behind you. I got one eye over here and one eye over here.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Eventually, she was put on a stretcher and flown by medical to the hospital. The lady Elizabeth, who made the 911 call, said she'd seen the lady in church for some services and during mealtime, but that she wasn't a regular. I'm sorry, if you've seen her a couple times in church, to me, that's a regular.
Right.
I mean, you know what?
Right.
Nobody goes to church every week.
Whoa.
Prayer and community and families, what's going to help us get through this, said Elizabeth.
Wow.
No word on the chick, why she did it.
You know what? And now she's like recovered, sitting in front of the hospital, missed 8 buses. Hey, you have to use your sound.
Hey.
Ask if this is your bus, idiot.
So sad.
I know. It's just, wow. I mean, like, the pain that must come
Think about it. Just going in and.
Ooh, no way.
I mean, just try to,
I can barely pop a pimple.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
There's a lot of cords and stuff connected to the
Yes,
back of
there
your
are.
eyes, so it couldn't
Right.
have been clean.
Right, and then as you pull it, it's going to make you sneeze.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Now you have eye holes.
All right.
Okay. Get her some sunglasses, please.
Yeah, let's
And
move.
make us vomit.
A cop robs a bank.
Oh, that's good. I mean, he knows the tricks.
No, he didn't. He got busted less than 5 minutes later.
Idiot.
Dummy.
Well, I guess the real trick is you got to go probably in with somebody else, like that works at the bank. Like, you're the security guard. Don't shoot me. And then I'll give you
Something
some
like
money.
that, right. Or, I come to your window,
Right.
you give me the money, and don't hit the button until after I've left.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you'll find a little something in your potted plant.
Right. So a 51-year-old guy named Jeff went into a bank in North Carolina, pulled out a gun, demanded some cash, and then drove off in a silver Ford Mustang. And that was his personal silver Ford Mustang. Don't you know you're supposed to
You're
steal
a
a car?
cop. You're a cop.
You steal a car to rob the bank so they can't trace it back to you. But no, this guy, he was a cop. He drove his own vehicle.
Not a good cop.
And he was caught less than 5 minutes later.
He's all, I got this. I'll be arresting myself. I'm in trouble.
He got charged with robbery with a dangerous weapon. He's already been fired.
Yeah, and they say like,
What an idiot. And he looks like a big dude. You know what he looks like? He looks like the dude from Machete.
yeah, the guy
know?
that's like, if you're gonna be that,
I forget his name, but he always plays like some big tough dude.
right? He does the commercials now.
Yeah.
He's like, you're gonna order your coffee. Why don't you order your kibble?
Right.
Yeah, something like that.
one, yeah. That
Johnny
guy.
Trejo.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Is it Johnny Trejo?
I think you might be right.
It's Trejo.
It's
for
Trejo.
Sure.
Thank you, Bolty.
Which is Spanish for bunghole.
Say that to his face.
His ugly, weird face.
Yeah, no. And finally, let's do that one later. Okay, so this one. A lady sues her boyfriend when he suddenly vanishes with the winning lottery ticket.
Wow. I mean, that's when you're gonna have to decide. I mean, but she's coming after you.
She's coming after you. But if there's, like lottery and law and all that, they don't hold up with verbal agreements.
Right, because you could have said, hey, we're going to split this. Oh, did we say that? I don't remember saying that.
And that's what happened.
Right.
Last fall, a lady named Denise was living with her man, Maurice. They lived in Canada.
They sound like a dumb couple, Denise and Maurice.
Yeah, that was never going to work.
Don't invite Denise and Maurice.
I hate Denise
them.
and Maurice. There's
Right.
their picture.
Oh, I hate them.
They're just an old, it looks like an old white couple, probably in their 50s.
Right.
Right? Late 40s. Okay. So anyways, they were living together for over 2 years, and they played the lottery together on a reg.
Denise and Maurice. Went
Yes.
to Belize.
Denise, they were going to go to Belize.
Right.
Maurice went
that's
to Belize
where he went to
without Denise.
escape, right?
On September 20th, Denise heard on the radio that a winning ticket had been sold in their hometown, Chatham. Maurice, it was his turn to buy the tickets that week. So she called him and she asked him, oh my God, check the tickets. It might be one of the ones you got.
He's all, haha, fooled you. Leave a message. Boop. It was one of those. Hello? I can't hear you. What? Got you.
He actually told her, oh, I've checked them. It wasn't it.
Right. And then in the background, it's all,
Flight 49 now boarding. Okay, cool. Flight 49 to Mexico. Flight 49.
Maurice, where are you at?
oh, I'm just at the mall.
At the mall.
Right now boarding. Flight 49. Looking for passenger Maurice. Passenger Maurice, please come to the counter for your first class ticket.
So he said it wasn't their ticket. And when she got home from work the next day,
All his clothes were gone.
he was gone.
Wow. And
His
he's like-
clothes, his toothbrush, everything, and his passport were all missing.
He's all, I left you at the crock pot.
Yeah, right. You never used it.
Right. Bitch.
He didn't respond to any of her phone calls, any of her messages. It turns out he had bought the ticket and won $4.9 million.
Wow.
And he didn't want to share it with her. So Denise just filed a lawsuit against him for half the jackpot plus punitive damages. She says they had an agreement to share everything if they ever won, hence the reason she would buy one week, he would buy the next. He says, no.
Never. We never talked
actually,
about that.
I'm sorry. Maurice's lawyer says, no, they never had that deal.
And he's a good lawyer.
So did he win?
Well, she just filed the lawsuit.
Okay, so it'll have to go to court.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he now can afford a real good attorney.
He won better than her.
Right, we're in a nice suit.
Oh, totally.
With his new girlfriend.
Uh-huh. Oh, isn't she pretty?
Patrice.
Yeah, Patrice.
She's from Belize.
Patrice and Maurice from Belize.
And Denise.
Blazing Hit Radio.
Better music.
Less commercials.
More Larry and Kathy. On the text line this morning, 303-728-3420. You guys have a lot to say. More about the pigeons.
Yeah, because we have pigeon problems and trying to get rid of them, and we've tried a billion things.
So this one says, good morning, guys. I have pigeon issues living on the third floor of my apartment complex. Fake hawk or owl statue keeps them away. Rotate the head or move the statue every so often so the pigeons don't get wise. I'm sorry.
We've tried that.
We have that.
Yeah, it
doesn't
didn't work.
No.
You know what I was thinking? Maybe if there's a business called Rent-A-Hawk.
Like
you know
an
what I mean?
actual real hawk
Right.
that comes.
Because of where they're living and the fact that Chris has like fortified their hideout, they're really protected. I don't think hawks see them. So
because they're kind of under the overhang of where the garage and the house meet.
Right, so I have to buy a big neon sign that says pigeons and then an arrow that points there and hope that a hawk can read.
This one says, I must say I miss Wiggins, but producer Bolte sounds so sweet. He has a little baby voice, and he's happy all of the time. I like that.
Yeah. It's a front. He's on drugs. No. And here's
You
the
are
thing.
sweet. I do like your disposition.
Right.
I've never seen you get mad or too sad. You always are kind of even keel, regardless of the news coming through.
Right. And I'm not going to hold it against Wig because this sometimes this journey can get frustrating or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that he was just at his end. You know what I mean?
Right.
About and so I don't hold it against him. He was justified in being crabby, but Mike is our guy because we're in denial about being crabby too. So that's what you got to be when you're in radio.
I think he's having a baby. I mean, that's
just a
got
lot
to
of
be
pressure.
stress.
That's got to be stress,
Yeah.
right?
A lot of pressure
Hence
on
the
him.
reason he had to go find a better paying job.
Right,
so.
that's what he's worried about and focused on. And so, there was a time that I think there was probably 3 times when Wiggins was super nice.
3 times.
and not stopping
10
smoke
years
weed.
ago, right? And then stop and smoke weed. Somebody else said on the
that
text
could make you
line,
cranky, too.
When he stopped smoking weed is when he got cranky. That's what another
No,
text
he was
said.
cranky way before that.
He was cranky way before that, yeah.
I know, but we love him, and we're hoping nothing but the best for him. And if you're looking to hire somebody, I think he already has a couple interviews, some great interviews, but he is a great, talented guy.
No, for sure. So, and are we going to check in with him at some point to see
for
how
sure.
he's doing?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I have 2 stories that didn't make stupid news. One, I couldn't find it, and it's totally stupid news. And the other one is happy stupid news.
Okay.
Okay.
But still stupid.
Yes. Okay. So the first one is guy drops acid, covers himself in cooking oil, and fights cops.
Wow, that sounds sexy.
Try to grab him.
Right, exactly.
You can't get him.
It's like getting a greased pig. You
Right.
can't get it. A 19-year-old dude in Pennsylvania named Lonnie, he did a bunch of acid. and started destroying the inside of his family's trailer. Not the trailer.
Not your own family's. Go destroy somebody
right.
else's.
Go over there.
Right. Go
down the street.
Throw some rocks in the river.
30 miles northeast of Pittsburgh is where this guy lives. He also tried to attack some family members who were upset he was destroying their living space.
Right.
And there's not too much room in the trailer. I had a double wide.
Right.
And I guess you could find some space, but.
Yeah, playing hide and seek there was ridiculous.
You always got caught.
1, 2, 3, found.
You found you.
All right.
And if you're in a single wide, it's just that long hallway.
Yeah.
Right.
And, man, my sister always used to jump out and scare me because the lights wouldn't work in the hallway, and it was her trailer. So, and I'd be going down, and I'd be like, okay, she should be in the back in the bedroom, but I'm right. I hate her. So then he got bit by the family dog in the process of the family members and him trying to get it. They got into their little squirrel.
So how did he get the oil on him?
And then he got naked, and he covered himself in cooking oil.
Okay, so I'm not hating the story.
And then when the cops showed up,
I hope a handsome cop showed up and said, "I've got this.
I've got this."
He's all, it's probably better I take my uniform off and get it not oiled up.
I must face him alone.
Yeah.
So when the cops
I should
showed
probably
up,
take my underwear off.
He's going underwear too. Wow.
Right.
Okay. So when the cops showed up, the family and the dog went outside, told the cops what was happening. The cops started yelling at the guy to come on out. Come on out, Lonnie. And that's when Lonnie came out, and he jumped off the porch to get away, started running around naked. It was snowing.
Okay, this is called white privilege. If he was black, he'd have already been shot by now.
Right.
Well, they tased him.
Okay.
And he yanked the wires loose.
Oh, my God. That's like ripping out a nipple ring.
Oh, God, totally. Because they have little claws in
Oh,
them.
yeah, for sure. But, it hurts, and then your adrenaline is going so
Right.
crazy, and you're on the acid.
Right.
So
Now-
it looks like you're being chased by rabbits and unicorns, but they're actually police officers.
Right, with guns.
Right.
Eventually, he went back inside the trailer, and that's where they wrestled him down.
He's we'll be back.
It took a while, though, because he was so slippery from the cooking.
Yeah,
oil.
this is going to take us a minute. Can we get the family out of here?
We don't want him to see what's
Yeah.
going to happen. They charged him initially with 24 different misdemeanors, but his family didn't want to press charges, so now he's just facing 2 counts of disorderly conduct and resisting arrest.
See what happens when you do too much acid?
See, learn your lesson.
You got to know your dosage.
Oh, he's kind of, for being 19, he's kind of cute. Like, I could see him going into porn.
Oh, yeah. I'll help get him on the ground.
I'll help it. Larry, why are you taking your clothes off?
I'm pinning him on the ground.
There's only one way.
Only one way to get him.
Man-to-man Lego fit.
You gotta,
Lego click.
You got to fight him at their own grease grab.
Right.
Hump them into submission.
Right.
And here is your good news.
Okay.
13-year-old drove a school bus 2 miles after the driver had a medical emergency.
I saw this on the news, and they were like literally over a bridge.
Yes.
And this kid, the bus driver was having like a heart attack or something, or just passed out, or
Just
seizure.
It just says a medical emergency.
Right. So the kid had to literally hop on the bus driver's lap and start driving. And there was like a little ways before there was even a clearing to pull over.
Uh-huh.
So he had to drive a couple miles.
So halfway between Austin and Houston is where this happened in Texas. Bus driver, some sort of medical emergency, started drifting off the side of the road. A 13-year-old kid named Carson realized something was up, so he was able to grab the wheel at the last second and prevent the crash.
Right.
But the driver was out of it and wouldn't take his foot off the gas pedal.
Whoa. And then probably even more weight on it.
Yes, because now
you're like seizing up or
Totally.
you're in pain.
So Carson, the 13-year-old kid, jumped on the bus driver's lap and drove the bus another 2 miles until he was finally able to reach that brake pedal and pull over.
Right. And they say that this kid never takes that bus.
Oh, for real?
Right. And that he just happened to take it and then
Get out.
And when they were saying it on the news, they were almost implying like the bus was filled with idiots. So if he hadn't been there,
they would have gone over.
Something like that. Like
horrible. That's horrible.
Because there was only like 5 or 6 kids on the bus. He saw a bunch of glue eaters.
So as he was trying to drive the bus, that's when other kids called 911.
Right. All
the
6 were like, wee!
And they're sniffing the glue
Right,
and enjoying
exactly.
the ride.
Wee!
After he got the bus to a complete stop, he put the bus's hazard lights on after he hit the brake. Wasn't that nice? What a
Right.
good kid.
Putting up that little side stop sign.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, let everybody
Right.
know. Yeah. And this wasn't Carson's first time behind the wheel. No.
Oh, really?
That's why it came so easy to him.
So he had practiced.
His mom has let him drive on the back roads in Texas a few times, and he got to drive his uncle's 18-wheeler once.
Whoa, that's cool.
Totally. So he says the bus wasn't very intimidating. And there's a picture of Carson and his mom, and he does look like he's got it all together.
That's cool.
For being 13. Way to go, kid.
Did the driver survive? Is the driver okay?
Oh, well, there's no
Let's just
information
assume
on it.
he's
Yeah,
okay.
everything's
He's
fine.
okay.
He's okay.
Good news, everybody. Blazing Hit Radio.
And now,
Invasive, violating, and just disgusting.
It's Celebrity Trash and Bash.
With Larry, Kathy, and Wiggins.
Sponsored by the Mike Sawyer Law Firm. Call 303-GOOD-LAW. Here's Kathy J.
Wow, Quincy Jones got crazy, mother blanking crazy, and gave a mother blanking crazy interview.
Okay, now is this confirmed? Because I don't know if the math works out on this.
Okay, well let's get to that in a
Okay,
second.
okay.
Let's start
I'm
with
gonna
some
find
other
out. Okay, fine.
stupid news. Okay,
Okay.
or trash and bash.
Right.
TJ Miller, Denver's own TJ Miller. I love TJ Miller.
Yeah.
We love TJ. He has now been replaced as the Mucinix guy.
Oh, really?
All because of those sexual assault allegations.
Oh, that sucks because he has a really distinctive voice. He's kind of like Seth Rogen.
Right.
They just sound good in animation.
Absolutely.
They have kind of gruff voices and
it's kind of on the stupid side.
right, exactly.
Yep.
So now they're gonna have to find a guy that sounds like him.
And they did. If you obviously didn't notice that because
so they already switched it up.
The new commercials during the Super Bowl had the new guy.
Okay, so
not
they can always
TJ
find a
Miller.
guy that sounds like the guy. Whenever the Tickle Me Elmo guy got weird, they
Uh-huh.
found a new Tickle Me Elmo guy. The Affleck guy.
Yep, they found somebody. So Jason Matsoukas is the actor and comedian, and you would know him because he does so many different impressions.
Oh, okay.
And you'd be like, okay, so obviously he's doing an impression of TJ Miller as the
Right, so
Mucinix
TJ
guy.
Miller should sue him for doing an impression that got him the job.
Yeah.
Right.
The timing of Miller's replacement comes coincidentally less than 2 months after he was accused of sexual assault while back in college.
So this is years and years ago.
TJ and his wife Kate have issued joint statements saying that the allegations are false, blah, 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 but clearly the damage has been done. The chick who was in college with TJ Miller and said he sexually assaulted her, she had a lot of graphic detail, including he violently punched her and choked her during sex.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. So maybe he was into it and didn't get permission first. I don't know.
Well, and then in his mind, he's like, man, that used to be me. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I was that guy.
And I'm not
now
that
he's
guy
like,
anymore.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And here it comes, right.
So I hope the best for him. I mean, it was cool that Denver had such a high profile actor finally.
Well, yeah, for sure. And it's like, now all those actors and, all the like Kevin Spacey and all these guys that have had to like take a hit, now you'll see them all like in porn, like acting amazingly. You're like, or like in bad movies or
don't ever
Lifetime.
say porn. Nobody wants to see TJ Miller in porn.
No, what I'm saying is like
Kevin
that's
Spacey.
that's the worst acting there is.
Yeah, true, right.
So
but
like,
they're acting the hell out of it.
right, exactly. They're like,
Gotcha.
wow, they brought a whole level to it.
I mean, I'm crying.
Right.
I'm crying. It was such good acting. Drake is on some sort of promotional tour for his upcoming video for God's Plan.
Okay.
And so in the process of doing that, he's doing some of God's work.
Okay.
Like
We're playing that song now.
Are we playing
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So-
Thank you, Bolty. Okay, so when's it coming up? Is it on in the
Yeah,
morning?
it's in rotation.
Okay, good. Drake walked into a supermarket in Miami Beach on Tuesday afternoon, had a megaphone, and announced he was paying for everybody's groceries.
Hell yes.
Bill came to $50,000. I'm going and getting name brands if I know that he's paying for
Whole
groceries.
Foods.
I'm eating meat again.
Yeah. Then he went and donated another $50,000 to a women's shelter. That's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
On Monday, he donated uniforms and $25,000 to Miami Senior High School, and then he gave a University of Miami student $50,000 for her tuition.
Wow. So you want to be in his area. You want to be on his radar.
Yes, right.
Right.
Yeah. Where's he going to be next?
For sure.
Brad Pitt caused a chain reaction accident with his Tesla.
Okay.
Everybody's okay.
Is Brad the one in space, the Tesla that's floating around
he's not
in
the
space?
spaceman. No.
Okay. That is pretty crazy. We should talk about that later.
Reports say it was Brad's fault. And he rear-ended a car. That car got pushed into a car in front of it, which was pushed into a car in front of it. Blah, 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 blah. But
Can you
everybody's
imagine
okay.
You'll be able to tell your friends, yeah, Brad Pitt rear-ended me.
It was the best rear ending I've ever had.
I'm not mad.
My neck. Oh no, I'm mad. My neck hurts really bad.
Really, totally.
Right,
Yeah,
like me,
right.
Angelina, and the kids bad.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, speaking of that, it's been a year and a half since they separated, and sources say they're still trying to figure out custody and money.
So they're not trying to make it happen.
No, they're not trying. I don't know. I still have high hopes they are.
Well, Angie's still not eating.
Yeah, no, she looks so skinny.
Right.
So before we get into Quincy Jones and his craziness, let's get into Charlie Sheen and his craziness. Have you heard the new accusations coming out against Charlie Sheen?
Well, he was the one that started the accusation.
He really was. Former baseball player Lenny Dykstra, he got to hang out a lot with Charlie Sheen. You know how Charlie Sheen loves baseball. That's his thing.
Right.
So he
Major
would always,
League.
Right. So he'd always hang out with baseball players.
I love baseball players.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Because?
Just they're awesome.
Yeah? Why? What makes them awesome?
Their sport.
Yeah?
And yeah, they're just, I mean, it's a really boring sport.
Yeah.
But they're awesome. It's American pastime. It's apple pie. Love it.
Just say you think they look cuter in their
I
uniforms.
love baseball players. I do.
So, former Major League Baseball player Lenny Dykstra, and he is not the best human being out there. Let's just be honest.
What do you mean?
He's just not. He's just like a loser. He's a wreck. He always has he's drunk somewhere.
Oh, okay. He's the mess guy.
But in a new interview, he has a lot to say about Charlie Sheen. For starters, he thinks that the feds are about to put the hammer down on Charlie for tax and wire fraud and for knowingly spreading his HIV. Then he goes on to accuse Charlie of murdering his former assistant, Rick Calamaro, in 2012.
Whoa.
The official cause of Rick's death was an accidental overdose. It happened shortly after Charlie fired him. And now Lenny is saying he used to tell Charlie to fire Calamaro because he believed he was trying to write a tell-all book about him. And then Lenny went away, did 3 years in prison on a bunch of charges. When he got out, Rick Calamaro was dead. And so he hung out with Charlie one day and asked him, what happened to Rick? And Charlie said, you mean dead Rick? What blanking happened is the mother blanker tried to blackmail me just like you said he would, wanted $5 million, so I blanking had him iced.
Whoa.
We'll see.
And that's how you could do it with somebody.
A drug overdose.
Right. You just go in there and hold him down and inject him and then be like, bye.
Yeah. So there's that. There's those accusations.
Damn.
And now let's get to Quincy Jones, everybody.
Okay, this is the mega producer who's, he made Thriller.
I met him.
Right.
Remember, I just recently got to hang out with him and talk to him.
Was he lucid? Was he like...
he seemed like he just seemed like he didn't really want to talk a lot. And then when he got up to give the award to Eva Longoria, he barely could say her name. He was kind of mumbling. To me, he was an aging guy.
Okay, so that's would mean that he's saying these weird things, or did these actually happen?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. So in a new interview, Quincy Jones is showing very little love for a lot of stuff, including pop and hip hop. He singled out T-Pain for a lackluster performance back in 2010 on a Quincy Jones tribute album. T-Pain fired back, it seems like Quincy Jones is pissed off at the world. And here's what else Quincy Jones has been saying. You ready?
Yeah.
Quincy Jones said in this interview, Marlon Brando had sex with Richard Pryor and Marvin Gaye. Quote.
Okay, wait. Okay, for some people, they're going to be like, that. I don't know any of those names. Okay, so Marlon Brando is an old-time actor guy.
But a legend.
Legendary actor, right, for sure. And then, so Richard Pryor was the
best comedian of all time.
Right, the first one to really go there. And him and Red Fox were the guys that were controversial, that would cuss and
super edgy.
Keep it real.
Yes.
If it weren't for those guys, you wouldn't have Eddie Murphy's, then you wouldn't have a Chris Rock, and then you wouldn't have all these other guys.
Right, and Marvin Gaye.
Right, okay. This is what's weird. I was always, as a kid, I heard that name, Marvin Gaye, and I was like...
He's gay.
Right, and I was thinking...
always thought that too.
And then people would tell me, no, he's not gay.
No,
and I
he
was
loves the ladies.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Well, clearly he loves men, too.
Well...
Or loved men.
Quincy Jones said in this interview, Brando was the most charming mother blanker you'd ever meet. He'd blank anything. Anything. He'd blank a mailbox. He blanked James Baldwin, Richard Pryor, Marvin Gaye. He didn't give a blank. He'd blank it.
Okay, like that just doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like
doesn't
Richard
sound right.
Pryor. Like,
But here's the thing. Richard Pryor's widow told TMZ Quincy Jones is telling the truth.
what?
And Richard Pryor wouldn't have cared if the information got out there.
So he was just stone cold bisexual, Richard Pryor.
Who knows? Well,
That's
you
what
know
they said. That's
Oh, did they?
Yeah, she's saying that he had slept with men before.
I'm thinking it was just you're doing crack, Marlon Brando's doing crack, everybody's feeling fuzzy, and then you just start feeling fuzzy together.
I know, but that's just such, I mean,
It's crazy.
it doesn't make any sense. Like, maybe he owed him money. He owed Marlon
I'm gonna
Brando
take it out
$5
of your
million. Right. No, you're not laughing now, comedian. Yeah, that's crazy.
There's more crazy. You ready? Quincy Jones also said he dated Ivanka Trump.
Okay, that's what doesn't make sense to me because
She's a lot younger than him.
well, he said 15 years ago.
12 years ago.
Oh, 12 years ago. Okay, so she's 36.
So when she was 24.
There's no way. We would have seen that in the news.
No, or was she just going to see some of her daddy's friends, you know?
But there's just no way. Like, I don't even think Donald would be down with that. You know what I mean?
Quincy Jones says about Ivanka Trump, she's a fine mother blanker. She had the most beautiful legs I ever saw in my life. Wrong father, though.
Well, see, look, now you know he knows what he's talking about because he knows who's who.
Then he said, I used to hang out with him, Donald Trump. He's a crazy mother blanker.
He's all fattest legs I've ever seen.
Quincy Jones said Donald Trump is limited mentally. He's a megalomaniac. He's a narcissist. He can't stand him.
Okay, he's saying big words. He's not all gone.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
right.
So that makes me think that, okay, is there any truth to the fact that he would have dated Ivanka? And how would that have even been possible? Because she's been like in a position where she didn't need anybody's money. So that doesn't make any sense.
But you're in all those crowds, and so I'm sure
it would. Like I could
Quincy Jones. I mean, like even though he was an old, decrepit dude to me when I was meeting him, I still had immediate respect for the guy. And if he said, "Let's go to dinner," I would have gone to dinner.
I know, but this sounds more like Trump's daughter Tiffany trying to get a record deal.
She needs anything,
right? She's like, I sing too. You know what I mean? Maybe he was confused, right?
All right, so Quincy Jones went on even further and said that U2 isn't making good music anymore. He also said he knows who killed John F. Kennedy, JFK. It was a Chicago mobster, Sam Giancana. No,
he's just walking around mumbling all these things. He's like, I know who killed JFK.
Check this out.
I know the secret sauce at McDonald's. I had sex with the Colonel Sanders.
Quincy Jones talked about a link between Kennedy, Sam Giancana, and Frank Sinatra, and then he shut the whole thing down and said, we shouldn't talk about this publicly. Then,
as the red laser sight went on his forehead, he's like, I can't mention this.
There's more. Then Quincy Jones went on to say that the Beatles were terrible musicians. They were the worst musicians in the world.
He's on Lunesta or something. He's walking around half asleep.
He said, we don't hear from Quincy Jones for a decade.
I know.
And this is what comes out. Then Quincy Jones went on to say, the Beatles are no play-in mother blankers. Paul was the worst bass player I've ever heard. And Ringo, let's not even talk about him.
Well, see, and he would know because he probably worked with them later, and he was like, let's hire a bass player.
Oh, my God. And finally, Quincy Jones, to me, is known for Michael Jackson.
Right,
Like,
Thriller.
that's how I was introduced to Quincy Jones, was
All
through
of
Michael
us, right.
So he says Michael Jackson was a thief.
Okay.
Quincy Jones
He's all,
says
he stole my son's cherry.
he said Michael Jackson stole a lot of stuff. He stole a lot of songs.
Oh, okay.
He stole Donna Summer's State of Independence and Billie Jean.
Oh, remember he went through a whole lawsuit with Billie Jean?
Yes.
And he won.
He won. And then he said the notes don't lie, man. He was as Machiavellian as they come.
Wow, you must hit a certain age where just all the truth
You just want
comes
to
out of your
spill it
mouth.
out.
You start throwing up just all these
Right.
random things.
Quincy Jones then said Michael Jackson refused to give one of the writers on Don't Stop Till You Get Enough a songwriting credit, and that guy went into a depression and killed himself.
Wow.
Wow, way
You
to
wanna
go,
be
Michael.
ending something. You want to be ending something.
Want to be ending?
Yeah. Ooh.
That's horrible.
Yeah, not cool.
Yeah, so we will see today if there's any retractions
Right, lawyers.
from Quincy Jones's camp
Right.
regarding everything he's put out there.
Man, I'd love to have drinks with him. What else you know?
I know, like I should have found more time to like talk to him
Right.
off mic.
Right off the record.
Damn.
Wow, that's
Right.
crazy.
Call or text us now
I'm so excited.
on the YOLO Rum phone line.
Alexa, will you be my friend?
Of course we can be friends.
303-728-3420.
You seem very nice.
All right, Kathy's had a moratorium that you couldn't say anything about the Black Panther till a certain date.
Yes.
Is that date passed?
It was Tuesday.
Ah, sweet.
So
all right, so you can talk, but you're not going to give any.
I still don't want to give anything away because I said something to somebody.
And they were like, I hate you.
Oh, my God. And I just was like, I'm so glad I messed up by saying it to you.
You're like, the Black Panther guy is actually black, a black guy.
No, that's not it.
Oh, everybody already knows that.
Yeah. So, and I will have the interviews that I did with all of the stars. We'll play them all next week.
Yay.
Because Black Panther opens up a week from this Friday.
Did you get to interview, what's her name? Nyong'o?
Yes, Lupita Nyong'o.
Is she gorgeous in person?
She's stunning. Her and Denai, who is Michonne from The Walking Dead, and you know how much I love The Walking Dead. They were in a room together.
Oh, sweet.
So to get those two ladies in the room together, I was like in heaven.
That's cool.
And my first question with them, I totally geeked out. Like,
oh, nice.
I don't know. I'll see how bad it is.
I'm
and
sure
if it's bad,
fine.
no, but I was like, isn't it wonderful? You guys are heroes just like the other girls. I'm so exciting. Like,
and they're all,
it was,
I'm British actresses.
Yes, it was a little much. So, but regardless, Black Panther opens up a week from this Friday, everybody, and they're breaking records because they are the best-selling superhero movie
of all time.
Before the movies even hit theaters. All of the tickets are selling like crazy.
You know what I've learned to do is when something like that news comes out where it's like, it's the biggest, it's the best. Oh my God, everybody loves it. I've learned to temper it because I don't use that to set myself up because sometimes when everybody says it's the best, now your expectation is like out the roof.
Right.
And then you're going to be a little disappointed. So I try to keep all that at bay. And
like when Larry told me Jupiter Ascending, Bolte, was the best movie he'd ever seen, that it was mind-blowing, took it to a whole new level of
I don't think those were my official quotes. Anyway, here's the thing.
It really helped soften the blow when I watched it and couldn't stand it.
You didn't like the alligator talking aliens?
Weird.
And the skateboard in midair?
The flying skateboards.
Wow, she's a tough critic. Here's the thing, though. I will say this. For all the hype it's getting, there are a couple scenes in the movie where I'm like, it's like that typical over-the-top CGI. It's like, I'm flying through the air. Now I'm going to do 10 things. Then I'm going to land in a car. You know what I mean? Right. So there's a ton of that. So that, to me, already lowers my expectation because that gives me a little bit of an eye roll when some of that stuff happens.
This is where I can tell you that won't affect you, I don't think, when you watch the movie.
Because I'll be stoned?
Probably. Well, that too. You're like, dude, did you just see how he did that? That's amazing.
Right.
But the story of Black Panther is it's a whole city that is hidden from the rest of the world.
Right.
And they're able to hide themselves because they have this stuff called vibranium, which is this kind of...
He's all, yo, Kathy, give me some vibranium.
Alien kind of like meteor thing that hit that area of Africa.
Okay.
And whatever it is, they're able to use it to advance in technology. Captain America's shield is made out of it. So you realize, okay, that kind of stuff, like the stuff you've seen where he flips and jumps into a car and stuff, you might be able to believe it if you realized you were working with the best technology in the world. Okay?
Yeah,
so maybe, yeah. But I would say, going with the technology, it is the coolest technology I've ever seen in any of the superhero movies.
Oh, cool.
It has one of the best villains I've ever seen.
Does it have cameos from other superheroes? Don't tell me who. Is there any like?
I can't say anything.
That would be a yes. I
can't say anything. Plus, you do need to stay. There's two things at the end. There's one right before the credits start to roll, and one after the credits,
like an Easter egg.
Yeah, whatever they call those.
Yeah, very cool.
Yes, but I did interviews with the entire cast, from Chadwick Boseman, who's Black Panther, to Michael B. Jordan, who's the Killmonger, the villain.
Were they cool?
Come on.
Oh, yes.
I was in heaven. Are you
Kathy
kidding
came
me?
back. She stayed there an extra day.
I did. My flight, I was like, maybe I could just miss this flight. I could just stick around here a little longer and hang out with these brothers.
She's reciting lines from the movie. She's like, yes, my African king. So I didn't say that right.
But no, I think that because at first you're like, oh, that sucks. You know, like a black guy finally is part of the superhero universe and all he gets to be is a panther. That's kind of sad. You know, like you got Captain America, who's the shield.
Yeah,
and
but the
Brave.
Black Panther's dope.
Right. What he's able to do with it and the technology and stuff, it's pretty freaking cool.
Right. So, yeah.
And one of my interviews was the room with Andy Serkis.
Okay.
Who is the guy who did Planet of the Apes and Gollum. He's the actor
He's the guy
that always wears
puts the dots on him, and he's like
that does the CGI.
Right, and he actually crawls around, and they videotape him, and then they make the character do his movements.
Yes.
So he's really that character.
Right, and he's Claw, who, if you know the Marvel universe,
Claw he's
a bad guy. He's a villain.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. So
the Claw.
No, not the
the Claw.
Take me to your leader.
Yeah, I am the chosen one.
Not that Claw.
Not Toy Story Claw.
Not that Claw.
Right.
But he was in the room with Martin, who was in The Hobbit. He was one of the Hobbits.
Martin, the neighbor that Tisha Campbell. Yeah, I know that.
Martin.
Show. Yeah, he's in it too. He's the comic relief.
Yeah. So I'm just telling you, it's a great movie.
Well, we're currently playing a song from the soundtrack.
Kendrick Lamar is the new song.
It's In the Stars. Oh, man, this song is just like perfect for the times. Kendrick is so deep with all of his lyrics.
Yes.
Sia, S-Z-A. How do you say it?
Sia.
Yeah, she just kills it with the vocals. It's a great song.
Yeah, she's awesome because she can actually read the song lyrics through those bangs.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. That's talent. This is a play it.
All right, cool.